Woo, baby. I am so excited about this device. Newly sealed ProArt P16 from Asus. This has been a long time coming. I have really wondered what is going to happen with the ProArt series. They do not update this one on the yearly. It updates every couple of years, and I must say this is my favorite device because it is built for creative professionals. There's no need to take a gaming laptop and adapt it and change it and make it fit just right for creators, because this is the laptop built for creators. There's different devices out there that say they're for creators, that attempt to be for creators, but nothing I have seen takes such a focus on creators like the ProArt series. So I'm super stoked. This is going to be the same charger block that we see on the P16. This is the 200 watt charger block. Okay, so that's what comes with the P16. Pulling it out of the box. Look at this. Freshly sealed, never been opened. Man, this is awesome. Here we go. Getting into it. One thing that I must say I'm a little nervous about is the placement of the dial. I really liked. Oh, let's get this real quick. Woo! Got the matte black ProArt box coming off here. Just throw it around, why don't you, Ben? Where your story begins. Where does my story begin? Smells so good. Smells so fresh. I wish you could smell this. You'll have to buy one if you'd like to smell this. Oh. All right. Wow. I did not expect this device to be so thin. Okay. Here's the previous model. Okay, so I'm trying to get them just right, but it looks as if it has lost a little bit of thickness. And it's a bit lighter. I'm going to do a full head-to-head review versus the prior generation, so you can check that out. All right. I don't want to open it, but I want to open it. I'm just so anticipating this device. Oh, man. Pulling the P16 out of the cover for the first time. Ooh. Man, that is so nice and thin. It's beautiful. Look at that. Go ahead and check out the Asus ProArt P16 ports. We have our new square power adapter, HDMI, USB-C, USB-A, and headphone jack. No ports on the backside. Ooh, but that's nice looking. Look at that. Got that ProArt signature right there. See? Ooh, right there. Bam. That's beautiful. Nice little detail there. We just looked at that side. And then we have another USB Type-C, another USB Type-A, and our SD card reader. So really nice port selection. Everything but your network port. You'd have to grab a dongle if you want to hook in directly to your network. The new ProArt logo on the top cover, same position as the PX13. So I'm reviewing the PX13 and the P16. So definitely check out all the videos I'm going to be bringing out with those devices. We're going to have tons of coverage on these devices, and we'll see how well they stand up to that challenge. Again, they have to prove themselves. Man, that top cover is just razor thin and solid rigidity for how thin it is. Good aluminum top cover. So it's all aluminum build. Bit of screen bounce. But so keep an eye on that. If you're curious about the exact pricing and the availability of the Asus ProArt P16, you can head down in the description below and click those links. If you do make a purchase, I'll get a small commission, but at no extra cost to you. But of course, that's what keeps this channel alive and the helpful content coming your way. Here is the 2022 and 2023 version of the ProArt. And as you can see, it has substantially thinned out. I mean, there's almost a 1/4 inch thicker on the older model, and you can see it's a bigger device from a form factor standpoint of the height of the device as well. So it has gotten so much more consolidated, and I even thought this was a pretty nice consolidated package. But after you lay it up next to the new one, it is night and day difference. And let's check out, look at the screen thickness compared to these two. So there's the new G16 screen. Obviously the older screen was a little less bouncy, but look at the thickness difference here. Let's see if I can get them lined up just right. There we go. I mean, this screen is substantially thicker than this one, so everything's thinned out quite a lot. So as you can see, as we open up the interior of the laptop, the dial has moved. Personally, at this moment, I don't know how I feel about that. I really enjoyed this dial being a separate entity. It was just always there, very predictable, very ready for you. I do think they've done the dial well. On the trackpad, it's a nice combination between manual and electronic because it has its own spacing. In previous models, they've done it to where it just would light up, so it would almost display the image of the dial. So if the computer were off, you wouldn't actually see it. This is a manual click trackpad, which huge upgrade for me. I hated that this was not a manual click trackpad and you only could use the click buttons. So that's a big deal for me personally. I know a lot of 3D modeling can benefit from these multiple click buttons, especially the middle button. However, for the work that I have been doing, video editing, photo editing, that sort of graphic design work, that did not require that. So for me, I'm a huge fan that they've gone to the clickable trackpad, and it's nestled so nicely into the chassis. Really well done. Great build quality. Now that we've seen the two devices, we're going to do, like I said, the full head-to-head review at a later point. But I just want to give you that preview of them at the moment. And as you can see, as you view into the device, it is beautifully minimal. Great spacing between the keys. Full-size shift key on both sides. Backspace, enter key. You have your arrow keys here, which are a bit smaller than compared to the older model. They had the full-size arrow keys. Everything is fit very nicely onto the device. The power button is separated. I really like the power button placement because it doesn't have that weird on the side of the PX13 where you click it as you're trying to move it around. It's up here, separate, very identifiable. I really like that. Easily accessible screen brightness, brightness of the screen up and down, and then speakers, very clearly defined. Sometimes these things can be hard to find. That's one thing I do actually like a lot about the G14 and the G16 is they have the buttons separate. The buttons, it's very classic Zephyrus style for these, volume and mute mic buttons to be separated. I do like that. It makes them even easier to access. However, by consolidating the keyboard into one nice even block, it creates more of that minimal design that these more professional laptops have been known for. We do have upward facing grills. By the end of this video, I'm going to absolutely 100% confirm that these are speakers because you can see on the bottom, we have speaker grills as well. And so sometimes these end up just being vents. I mean, I cannot tell you how many times I've looked at the HP Envy and said, those have to be speakers, and they're not. So that has happened to me multiple times in the past, and so I never want to just say, yep, that's it. I like to test it. I like to test. As the laptop is getting fired up, there is a webcam along the top bezel. Here's a quick sample so you can see it and hear it for yourself. This is the webcam on the Asus ProArt P16 and a little sample of the audio for you as well. Now, I love unboxings because it provides me with an opportunity to really get a clean first impression of the device. I've never seen it before when I open it for the first time, and so I love that first experience and sharing that with y'all. It is also a great opportunity to field any questions that you all want to receive in the 1 week later or the full dedicated review or more in-depth research on the device. So if you have any questions or concerns about maybe your specific workflow or things you're not sure about the device, comment below right now. I want to know those. I promise I will answer as many of them as I can. There's some I might just not be able to get the answer for, but that's why I'm going to make so much content on this device is so that I can get all of your questions answered to the best of my ability. So please comment below. All right, so I've got the device turned on, and as you can hear, the audio is coming from the top upward-facing speakers as well as the bottom, and it is creating a nice immersive audio experience. So thumbs up, good audio experience on the P16, specifically because of the larger chassis, we can fit these larger upward facing speakers. Looking at the display, as you can see from the top camera, it is quite reflective. This was the same thing we ran into with the PX13. So if this is a deal breaker for you, I am sorry. This is going to be quite the glossy screen. Now you could put a matte screen cover over it to kind of diminish some of that glossiness, but it is quite reflective. I do love the screen. It has the built-in bezel. It's not an extra plastic piece, so it's a nice seamless piece of glass for your display. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and flip the device over, take off the bottom cover, and check out the upgrade path. As you pull off the bottom cover, we reveal the 90 watt-hour battery. Fingers crossed that that has good battery life. I feel like I say that for every Windows laptop review. Get better battery life, Windows devices. And then as you see, we have two M.2 slots. We have an occupied and an unoccupied, which is awesome. I was really hopeful because we don't have a micro SD card reader on the device, and therefore expanding your storage would mean replacing the boot drive if we did not have this additional M.2 slot. Fantastic. I thought for a 16-inch model, there's plenty of space in the internals for that M.2 slot, and they have not let me down. They have made sure it is in place. Now we have a nice large heat pipe assembly here. Not a thermal chamber, just the heat pipes, two main fans, and then an additional smaller fan as well. Now the speakers, as you can see, are the downward facing here, and then we also have those upward facing supporting speakers as well on the device. Now one thing you're unable to upgrade is the RAM. However, every device comes standard with 32 gigs of RAM, and you can get a 64 gig equipped model. So if RAM is important to you, and as a creative professional, I find that it's important to me, you do have the option to get the 64 gigs of soldered RAM. It's going to obviously be more expensive. Again, live pricing in the description below if you want to check the differences in the price between the 32 and the 64 gig models. But that is an option to you, but you will not be able to upgrade it post-purchase. So make sure you make that important decision while purchasing the device. Remember, there are links in the description below, as I just mentioned, if you want to take a look or make a purchase. Click or tap the screen here. We're going to have tons of videos for the Asus ProArt series, every device in the lineup. So excited to bring more content coming your way. I'll see you in the next video.